Hey everybody, it is Mike. It is actually Friday, but I'm doing the HORRORman's Slashback Saturday challenge today. This weekend is going to be about me getting ready to have a new air conditioner put in, so I need to purge some stuff out of my garage so that they can get to it and move some Christmas stuff around. Don't have a basement, so a lot of my storage is in the garage. So this week's HORRORman's Saturday Slashback challenge was to review skin flicks, horror movies with a lot of nudity in it. I was raised by a mom and four sisters, and they basically beat me into submission on, being a whore dog or, any of that sort of stuff. So, and really, I have a lot of respect for women. So, gratuitous nudity has never been something I have enjoyed. So, I do not own any of the really gratuitous, naked for the devil, stripped nude for your killer, or whatever those crazy movies are. And I never will. I'll never watch them. I have no desire. Pretty much a lot of, especially the 80s slashers, had a lot of nudity, or had some nudity. There's pretty much nude scenes in quite, a majority of them. As we got into the 90s and to the 2000s and stuff, there are still those low-budgety horror movies and even some of the big budgets where there are nude scenes. An occasional nude scene does not bother me. It does not add to a movie for me at all. A horror movie, it just doesn't. But I get it. That sometimes in everyday life people take showers or have sex. Got it. And since the majority of these horror slasher movies are trying to preach to everybody that sex is bad, I get it. So, but it was hard for me to find one in my collection that actually has a lot of nudity. I do have a couple of the old, I think, trying to think of some of them that I have that might have quite a bit, but I just went with the Friday the 13th remake. This is actually the steelbook of this. I have it also on Blu-ray, just plain Blu-ray. I don't know. It's a sickness. Anyway, so this particular Friday the 13th, is it a sequel? Is it a reboot? Is it a remake? I don't really consider it a remake because really Mrs. Voorhees isn't like a main topic in this movie. It's pretty much grown-up Jason. I mean, he does get a mask in this one, but so Friday the 13th, 2009. The plot must have been written by a 15-year-old pothead because it's pretty much just kids wanting to get drunk or high and have sex. They're looking for pot at the beginning. Sorry about the yowling dog. She has hip issues and she insists on getting on the couch. And she refuses to use the ramp. Anyway, so the first batch of teenagers, they're out there looking specifically for some alleged big stash of pot that's growing out there. Yeah. So we have the kind of nice guy Mike, and he goes off with the other girl, the main girl, the final girl. I can't think of her name. I had it in my head, now it's gone. Yeah, they're college kids, and they're out there looking for pot. But Mike and this other girl are just kind of walking around, seeing what's out there. And then we have the two whore dogs of the bunch, and then we have the spare guy. So the whore dogs, the girl and the guy, of course, girl has big boobs, and of course she flashes them at the guy, and then eventually they're in a tent, and we get to see more. And then she gets put in a sleeping bag and roasted, so then we get to see roasted boobs. So that was the first batch, and after they're taken care of, we go on to the next batch. And in that batch, we have two people out on a boat, two blondes, um, and she's skiing with no top on. That's something that I see every day. Yeah, just naked girls skiing all over Tybee Island. It's just crazy. No. And the sad thing is, her death scene couldn't even be a little bit respectful. No. They show her getting stabbed in the head, and then he pulls her up so we can see her boobs before she drops back into the water. Yeah, that's nice. And then, of course, there is the girl of the group who's kind of trampy. Her name is Bree. And she ends up with the jerk of the bunch, who actually is a very good actor. His name is Travis Van Winkle, and he's done quite a few things, and I actually enjoy him. He's a pretty nice guy. Check him out on Instagram. He posts a lot of fun stuff. But he is the big wiener in this movie. And he has a big sex scene with Bree, and it's really very long and lasts and just he says stupid things about her nipples and whatever. So, yeah, that would be the nude scenes, pretty much, you know. But this is a fun movie overall. This is probably pretty high up on my rankings as far as the Friday the 13th franchise. The kills are mostly pretty good and mostly on camera. So for the most part, we see what happens to them, which is always good. Most of it is practical effects. There's a little CGI, but it's not bad. Probably one of the better remakes of any of the horror movies. This and My Bloody Valentine I liked. Maniac is a good remake, and actually there are a few others. Can't think of them right off the top of my head, but yeah. So that is my entry into this week's Slashback challenge, and my entry for Skin Flick. Sorry, it's not as naked as it could be, but Friday the 13th, the reboot, remake, sequel, whatever. Bye, guys.